The year is 1978. Tomohiro Nishikado decided that he was bored of the ability to hear and invented video game music. Of course, music already existed before that, but he just got the two and smashed them together, creating, in my opinion, the most intense music there is. It didn't all start out intense, as it started with Space Invaders, a simple game with simple music that was just one beat after one beat, but it was still intense, just not like how it is today. Today's music is like... and... Of course, not all of the video game music is for an intense boss fight. At the end of the game, some songs might even be like... or even... But anyway, back to the history. Back in ye olde days, video game music was like, wow, that is cool. And so music in games went boom! However, there was one small problem. It was all one song repeated continuously until you finished the game, and then came along something no one could have expected. Introducing the Atari 2600, now able to handle a whopping 2 songs. And there are now more games than ever before. You cannot buy if you don't have enough money. T's and C's apply. Your kids will become addicted and force you to buy for them. Side effects of addiction may include paralysis, heart attacks when getting off, headaches, or just bad eyes, diarrhea, don't ask how you don't know, and death. Later on in time, more advances were made to technology, like enhancing the CPU, central processing unit, and thus it became cheaper and easier to buy. And yes, new improvements were made to graphics for the games and game consoles themselves. But eventually we came to the 1990s, we came to Mario, and boy did that do a lot for the gaming industry. I bet if someone hears the first few notes of Mario, they'll get flashbacks at jumping on Goombas and kicking some turtles, which is another great thing about video game music. Nostalgia. When playing a game like Mario or even Portal 2, you wouldn't want it to be silent the whole time. Just try to imagine jumping on Goombas without any sound. Not fun. All the music in games is what pulls it all together. It's the backbone of games, also gameplay. But being able to jump on some robots and listening to music, it's fun because you don't get bored. It also makes focusing on the thing that you're doing easier, whether it be exploring, fighting, constantly dying in a stupid gosh darn underwater level, or having the game or having the game crash and having the whole thing break before your eyes. All that progress, all that building, all that grinding. Gone. Time to do that again. The Legend of Zelda, a fun game filled with action, puzzles, and destroying some random guy called Ganondorf, just for him to show up a few years later with a whole new mummy. And over the ages, this game has advanced just like the Game Boy. There have been 29 different video games, and each one has cool music. Sure, the theme is basically the same throughout, but other songs are different, like Hyrule Field and Gerudo Valley, depending on the version of the game, with later releases, Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom, having less music, but the gameplay is a lot better. It's open world and the ability to build. I'm getting distracted. Today, rhythm games are everywhere. There's Beat Saber, Just Shapes and Beats, that's all I can remember, but those are still 2 popular rhythm games. Games all about rhythm and music, and people even turn other games like Portal or Minecraft into rhythm games with level editors and mods. With rhythm games, people finally realize how important music is to video games. Because imagine you're playing Just Shapes and Beats with no sound. Now, stop imagining that because I have the power of editing. See, it's just not fun. Where there should be a beat perfectly done with the spawn of a pink block or whatever, there's just void. Ah, what a beautiful, calming soundtrack for a lovely game that's just all peaceful and just, it's a great game where you can go frolic with the birds and never mind. Yeah, no, Terraria's music is not all peace and nice. It's got things like this with electric guitar for boss fights. But I mean, it does have peaceful stuff, especially when you start a new world and that soundtrack just kicks in. But another thing Terraria does is it uses a lot of bzzz and synth in its music. Terraria also has different music for every place in the world. Underground, we got a song for that. Just started, we got a song for that. Murdering a giant flying guy that just decided to show up, oh, we got a song for that. The point is, music for any part of the game, however, there's also crossovers in this game, so you get music from other games that have been recreated in the Terraria style. Since the 80s, music in video games has gotten more complex, there have been more music in each game, and each song has gotten more instruments, but earlier on in the life of video game music and sounds, some sounds would be the same song sound, or just like song but slowed down or sped up to save space in the game files, or else they might not be able to get all they wanted into the game. Music in video games has also gotten a lot more instruments, as I said earlier, in the 80s, because, well, they can, it sounds better.